Demonic Angel. Welcome to my 2022 edition of YouTubers I Like. I think I've done it the last couple of years, and I figure, rather than just digging through all my stuff, just, it's one of those things you could kind of throw up once a year and people can kind of relate. Like TV shows, movies. I don't really have big lists of those. I'm not like a prolific, TV show watcher or movie person. I mean, I've seen my handful, But yeah, just, like lists like this. So one of them was like, let's talk about YouTubers I like. And yeah, because I just did bands. I think I will do my book and some of my, ritual items next, briefly. And I think that will probably conclude it for these kinds of videos. But yeah, I was basically just like, this is where I just talk about people whose channels I like. That's literally all it means, that I like your channel. I'm going to provide links to all the different people I talk about. I'll try and even do the timestamps, so that if you if I'm describing somebody that like catches your attention, you could probably find them. I'll take the extra time for that, but I could just kind of sit here, chill, and have some coffee. Everything's going good, planning everything. And then I'm gonna announce when I'm gonna start doing my live stream for May. I have my iced coffee, homemade. So, anyway, now I'm finally fine. I basically, I had my last couple nugs of weed earlier today, and I smoked one of them, and I was like, all right, this is the last one I'm gonna have for like a few days, so it's totally fine. So I was like, well, but I forgot, about this cookie, because my husband, he likes the edibles, because he has asthma. I prefer smoking. I mean, I know that's, I think because I like to just, smoke, kind of get into that philosophical mindset, and then have it, have that experience, kind of be over. Well, yeah, I just ate one of his cookies, and then I smoked my last nug, and it really, I was like, wow, I just have all these, I gathered all my books that I'm gonna show in the next video, and I was like, I have to wait a while to just like, let this pass a little bit. It was a lot of fun. I was just laughing and, whatever, that little side story. But it's the fucking, cliche joke, you're waiting for your edibles to kick in, and then, you smoke a bowl or something, and then you're just like, oh man, it's a little too much. But it wasn't like too much, but it was just really hard to like focus and stop laughing. So not a bad evening at all. Then I was like, I better make some coffee. So yeah, that's my little fun story for this weekend. I mean, that's how I fucking party, I guess. So Foolish Fish, he's got a sizable following. I've probably only seen his channel the last few months or something like that, and he just really covers a lot, like occult news. He'll do live streams, book reviews, really, really good book reviews, things like that. So he's really good. Svenrolic, and then it's like in parentheses it says aMillionWays, and he just shows off a ton of occult books. I mean, his channel's not really old, but I think he even does like an unveiling of, Carl Jung's The Red Book And, you know, that huge book. That's why I don't have a physical copy. I have read it, but that's so big that I don't like, you know, I don't know, man, like if I would even fit on my bookshelf. But another guy I came across recently, his name's Nathan Wolfe. It's like with an E. And I think he has a few hundred subscribers, and I think he's like a Canadian occultist. And you know, he showed off his like book collection, and I saw that. I thought that was, you know, I love watching other people do book collection stuff. And you know, I think he's got a really great channel. He draws all this really amazing art for his grimoires, and that's like, you know, a big part of his channel. Definitely check that out. He even does like, you know, tutorials like for drawing, it mentions drawing sigils that way, so that's really awesome. Magister Clavus, you know, could be butchering that, but he really goes into the Goetia. He's a gentleman from the Czech Republic. So, you know, he says that in his videos, and he, you know, such a deep European accent. You know what, I'm just gonna laugh and say, people kind of really, you know, they'll say you have an accent, and it's funny because people will kind of get it wrong, and I think it might have to do with, like maybe the fact that I like have Asperger's. Maybe I speak a little bit off somehow, or you know, off note or off key compared to, like, you know, whatever. What do you normal people call neurotypical? So I really don't know if that's it, but yeah, people will think I have an accent, and it's just really intriguing and funny. So I you know, I'm not really sure. I am kind of from a really basically, I would say from a place in the United States that has a very strong accent, but I mean, also moved around and things like that. But I think that, you know, the Hick genes are there, or you could kind of tell that that's some of my family. But yeah, you know, just really funny. Anyway, back to talking about Magister Clavus. He is just really focused on the Goetia. He'll take, you know, Deutontalion, talk about him for half hour, his personal experience. So, if, you know, when you're looking for people who are practicing and they're doing their personal experiences, this is definitely a channel for you. And he dresses really professional in a suit. And it's like he reminds you of like a professor. He's got really a very magnetic energy. It's like he's always smiling, you know, like, and it's like he's imparting this knowledge on us students. He's just got a really cool vibe about him. Satanic International. I think he also has a channel called 30 Hits of Acid, and his name's Zach Black. And he basically started basically a satanic website group, Satanic International, and it's just for like left-hand path people, satanic, pagan people to chat. You could even, you know, purchase his like art and his merchandise he makes. But I found it. I think he's one of the first though free satanic social networking sites. He's still active on his channel, and he's one of the first people who really, you know, like started just, it's like, you know, you're just a fucking person and you happen to be like a Satanist, and you film your perspective, which is basically what, I mean, many of us have come to do. So he really got on that a long time ago. You know, his site's really cool. I think he has a lot of neat ideas. He is more like an atheist, kind of a Satanist, but for some reason I think he's really funny, like a really good storyteller. You know, he'll talk about subjects like psychedelics things like that. Obviously 30 Hits of Acid is his other channel, so you can kind of see his interest. But yeah, I think he's really great. If you like, funny stories. Ascension 2020, he's a gentleman from Germany, and he's got some extensive schooling with like sociology and psychology, and he talks about what it's like to do rituals and basically live this kind of lifestyle with demons. And basically what I like about him is he kind of goes into like, almost like the psychological elements of it, about being, like having that play between you, and you have to really be open, and you have to imagine the spirits in a way, no matter even if part of this is really like an objective experience outside of you, there's still so much of your mind that's required to make that happen, and there's that psychological exchange. I think that ritual is such a primal thing. So us people who do that kind of stuff now, we're really tapping into that early human mindset, just ritual imagination. Before humans spoke, we performed rituals, and a big purpose of that was, here's the face of a bear, and they'd wear it as a mask to, literally be able to channel the spirit, the energy, what that does, like the bear standing for protection, and maybe masculinity, strength, and that, whatever other kind of associated symbolic meaning into that. So it's kind of like fun to really feel close to ancient people that way, to just play with your imagination. And if you're doing a channel like this, I hope that's a part of it for you. But he really takes you through that kind of mind trip, if you will. Blackmagic Sorcerer, he's got a really great channel. We've been friends for maybe like a year and a half, sent each other some books. He's really kind of an up-and-coming channel. I think he's got 400 subscribers, real close to that now. And he does quality videos. Excuse me, he recently showed like how he has a whole new room for his altar stuff, and it looks amazing. So, yeah, he's really like personally friendly. I just like to email him random occult topics. Always looking for people like that. Apotheosis, spiritual knowledge. Sounds like a European guy, really covering the Ars Goetia. I think also Mephistopheles, Lucifer. He even does sigil videos, so I love that. I really love to select some people who I like to listen to their music when I draw sigils, and it will really match up my mood. I love that kind of stuff. I think it's a really great way to honor demons. This has nothing to do with the occult. Dr. Eric Berg. Besides all these questions, like, of course, questioning everything, because for me that's kind of, in a way, what, my search, and it kind of led me to the occult is all about, is kind of really questioning things, especially like, things that we just accept or is reality. So it's like, being a kid, I'd be told, well, hey, if you eat too many snacks, you're going to be fat. Or like that idea that it's just, if you're overweight, it's because of what you're eating, and that all these different things. But that's because it's not based on health. And I really am interested in human biology. I do know a good amount. So just, you know, I'm fascinated in, of course, dead people in all different kinds of ways. But that also really helps me to understand it's helped me understand how to really be healthy, that it's not, none of that's important, because it's more about what's chemically going on with a human. And you really can't get anywhere till you match things like that up. So just kind of things I've thought, and I kind of will check against some of his ideas about, you know, fasting is it's really about basically curbing insulin resistance. Every time you eat, you know, it releases insulin, and once that threshold of insulin resistance is too great, then, you know, you're going to have diabetes, hypoglycemia, things like that. So, you know, sometimes I'll do a 2-day fast, maybe once every 4 to 6 weeks. I think things like that make sense. It's not about losing weight. It's about staying, you know, balanced, grounded by, you know, cleansing. And that's what it's more important for me. So it was really great for me to detach from culture and society-like ways that, you know, we all just think of it when we're young, and to kind of look at it objectively. And I really incorporated a lot of these practices into my life, and, you know, even it's kind of how I think of President Marbus as a healer, in this kind of way where I'll have my own personal revelations and whatever. But I drink lemon water, apple cider vinegar every day. I'm not the healthiest person. I don't think it's so much about what you shouldn't eat as much as it is about being hydrated and having the correct pH. Again, kind of, you know, long before, you know, man spoke, even before man performed ritual, there was the digestive system. So that is the number one thing that needs help. And these things like kombucha, lemon water, apple cider vinegar have acetic acid. So it's just really replacing the stomach acid that you lose. You lose it when you get stressed. You lose your stomach acid in your urine, so it's replacing that. And that means you can actually absorb minerals out of your water. That chain reaction. So I just love looking at life from a biological perspective, and, you know, that's just a lot of fun for me. So I think the human body is just fascinating. I guess some people might think that's a little bit weird, but that, you know, that's okay. Michael W. Ford, I really like. He, you know, brings to us I think it's called the 11 points of Luciferianism. You know, about taking care of the earth, because this is like this is the pinnacle of experience, right? If there's gods out there, ideas, this is this is what they all strive for, is to be incarnated. And that's what we as people are. So it's our job to really put a lot of effort into the subjective experience, and to really kind of be a part of the community. You know, we love the earth. We think of it as basically our church, and, you know, I think Luciferianism is very pagan in that way, about environmental issues. So he touches on things like that I really agree with. What else? Oh, Chili Mancer. He is an occultist, but also he has like 1,500 subscribers, and he eats really hot shit. And he's really funny. So if you like the occult and hot sauce, then check out his channel, especially if you just like hot sauce. But I haven't tried any of his yet. I mean, I might. We'll have to see. I like hot stuff, but I don't want to, like, you know, I don't want to die. Tattooed Spirit, he does all of the Rider-Waite deck the traditional RWS, and he profiles every single card. So you know, you can really get a lot out of that. It's like 5 minutes per card. He'll go through, you know, spreads. He'll even do like scenarios where he'll preserve the spread of like a client, and then you can see what, you know, the whole journey that he took that person through about, you know, like in a reading. So I've done a couple of those, what a reading really went like for a client. Yeah, I don't even know. Yeah, you know what, it's weird, it's funny, it's a funny, weird feeling. It kind of makes me laugh and feel like a powerful witch or some shit like that too, but I've had a few people just be so weirded out by readings that they'll tell me things like, it's weird because they don't just like leave talking to me, stop talking to me, but like an example would be like, I told this one woman, you know, I knew what the ghosts were doing to her at her house, because she was like, yeah, you know, I had this problem as a kid, but she didn't mention anything else, any specifics about what it would do, but I knew that it, you know, this was something that's still attached to her, and it was rattling the doorknobs at night, but she would feel just paralyzed, and she would still do that as an adult. So she was like, thank you, you know, you changed my life. I can't believe that you know, you're so accurate at a reading, but then, like, I never hear from people again. And I can tell, those few, like I said, it's few people, I could tell it's because I creeped them out. Like, you know, I said something that, and it's not like, because I really, if somebody really isn't supposed to hear what I have to say, then I don't say it. But like, I feel like that I was able to get through to those people, and it was just very much an overwhelming kind of a moment. I try not to be that way, but I think I have been the creepy witch before. Joseph Campbell Foundation, he really, that's his channel. He's a philosopher. He's really, you know, prolific. And he's kind of like the Jordan Peterson of like the 1960s. That's the best way I can put it. I do enjoy Jordan Peterson's channel as well. But it's just kind of, you know, going off of esoteric, mystical, maybe biblical, you know, ideas, but also looking at rites of passages for humans, and, you know, that Jungian idea that we're all so similar in the individuation path. Here's what that struggle looks like, you know, very much internally on a, you know, to a human soul. So he's really good at that. Leo Buscaglia, that's a big softy one. He talks about loving yourself. He's really beautiful. You have to just listen to him. I mean, I think that even if you were like a I don't know, very unemotional, he could still probably elicit some emotion out of you. He just talks about how you know, how precious life is, and how we should all, you know, be kind to one another. But he puts it so eloquently that it's very captivating. The legends of history, they profile like King Solomon, lots of other occult topics. So they're just a great channel. If you want to just look at, you know, listen to 10-minute history occult episodes. Jeremy Crow, he's a Canadian occultist, Luciferian specifically. He has a really great channel. He was one of the first big Luciferian channels I've you know, found. Besides, I read Michael Ford's books, a couple of them, before, you know, I found his channel. And you know, he just interviews people, and he talks about, I think he actually has like a, you know, I don't know what do you want to fucking call it, a coven or something like that in Canada. So a chapter, I think. Casting Cauldron, she's like this really cool hip lady, and she dresses like a witch. She has the hat every episode. I should do that sometimes, but you know, since I'm just sitting here scrolling through the computer, that was kind of the point of just doing simple. But yeah, you know, she just actually will cast some spells. She sells some of her stuff. Abi the Witch is really awesome. So she has, basically, she talks about tarot. She just talks, kind of shoots the shit, whatever. But she's really cool. We're kind of starting a friendship. And she's just a very genuine, energetic person. I absolutely love, you know, the way she just lives witchcraft. It's just kind of a normal, like this normal, really artistic woman just living witchcraft. And she's really sweet and endearing, so I think you'd like her. Serenity Keona, she is, this girl fucking rocks. She is basically, I think, an African-American woman who, she posts every day. She's doing Goetia workings, activities every day for 76 days. And she's like posting, I think she's like on 40 or, you know, day 50. And just the effort she puts into her channel is really great. She does occult book reviews. Spektor Baal, he talks a lot about astral projection. He is really, you know, cool. He's one, you know, the first people I kind of started an acquaintanceship with. We're still acquaintances. He does, you know, occult music and experimental stuff on his channel. Really, really good. He puts a lot of effort into it. He's very eccentric, but he's like, you know, he makes eccentric being really cool. So, Black Witch Coven, she's an Australian lady witch. She, you know, she covers a lot of stuff, even, you know, necromancy, tarot. She really speaks a lot of truth about warnings and really living the way witchcraft is. She really knows a lot of her readings. I mean, she's just a very intelligent lady. Behemoth X, he's basically, yeah, he's just a Satanist, but he does really fucking cool sigil videos. Like, he'll have a sigil just completely in flames with like chalices in front, and he does the chants. And I mean, it's just, I mean, that's like how you imagine in your fantasy that your ritual would go. Like, okay, now everything fucking goes up in flames, and like, you know, the drum beat and everything intensifies until the spirit manifests on the physical plane, kind of. But he brings that to life, so that's just so cool. And he talks personally what it's like to be, you know, a left-hand path occultist. And I kind of like, you know, those normal perspectives. Atypical tarot. He'll put like Egyptian, other kinds of, you know, Sumerian kinds of twists to tarot. Like, you know, not the common just here's what this kind of represents. So I do like that because I love seeing myths and legends in a card. That's really neat to me. Caleb, okay, so we'll talk about a couple channels. I used to watch The Occult Gate, but his channel is just gone. It was somebody named Bryce. Man, he did really good scrying and tarot. And there used to be a guy called Psycho Sorcerer who was on YouTube, and he really just did, he broke the occult down, you know, really well. Gosh, that might have been like 7 years ago or something. But he eventually left because the magic got like too real and intense for him. I think, you know, he kind of admitted that he was searching for proof of the paranormal. And I don't think that's like the best mindset to go into the occult with, because that intention will end up being there, and, you know, you might get what you're looking for, obviously. But Caleb Davis, his channel is still up. He used to do occult stuff. He was like showing off, you know, his Crowley collection when he was like, I think he was like 16, something like that. So I was just intrigued that he was so young reading that kind of stuff. But he has since, you know, cleared his channel of any occult stuff. So that happens. People dip out of the left-hand path stuff all the time. And then a lot of times it's funny they come back, but they leave. Satan's Priestess. She is an African-American woman, and she just is basically very vocal about, you know, she always, hail Satan. And I love her. She's really awesome. She does drawings of the different spirits of the Goetia, usually presenting them what they would look like in human form, but, you know, with, you know, in an African-American way. She, you know, does other kinds of art, but she writes prayers and poems to all the different demons, and I think that they're really beautiful. Her channel is amazing. What Magic is this? It's a Canadian guy, Doug somebody, and he interviews different guest topics, of course, scrying, Carl Jung, Eliphas Levi, and he'll just take a person apart and just, you know, talk for about a whole hour. Like, you know, you get your subject, necromancy, whatever, Satanism, very friendly to that, going over, I mean, pick one of the thousands of gods. Just, this guy, you know, he knows his occult. Norse magic and beliefs, really a good reference, looking through, you know, all the different legends in that way, because I think, you know, if you do runes at some point, it's good to have a background, a little bit knowledge of the culture a little bit. Ancient Divine Flames, she just does a lot of satanic, Luciferian topics. So another, you know, that. Esoterica, so Dr. Justin Sledge, he's a Jewish gentleman, and he really does know, he does know his occult stuff, so everything is very in-depth. I mean, just speaking of, like, people who have, like, Asperger's or something, he's, like, so fucking smart that it blows your mind. And I think to really memorize all this stuff, yeah, I think he might just be very focused, and, you know, this happens to be the subject that draws his attention, so you can just, you know, feel the obsession. And he really, no matter how much you think you know a subject, because you'll look up one of his videos and you think you know that, you just learn so much more. MerlinRavenSong, he's an African-American gentleman who does a lot of tarot, just Luciferian Satanism stuff, really good stuff. I think he's awesome. He's a very supportive, nice person. I do like the Sadhguru, like S-A-D-H, you know, guru. He is an Indian guru who's really, he's pretty famous, pretty popular. And so, you know, the Hindu perspective. Official Indigo Priestess, aka Santera Lucera. So she is like a Hispanic lady who does just a whole variety of magic, to include, you know, demonology, things like that. You know, the Hispanic influence in occultism is there. Tiara, Princess of Wands, her channel's really good. My friend Blackmagic Sorcerer turned me on to her channel, and she just does a whole variety of subjects, but she does really consistent content. It's really interesting. Could be some stuff she's showing off, tarot, just kind of, you know, whatever, but she's very engaging and a regular uploader. A Dakota of Earth kind of goes around the world and does psychedelics, but also just literally goes and lives with the culture. So if they eat monkey brains, he's going to eat them, right? He's like the Anthony Bourdain, psychedelic Anthony Bourdain, a cold traveler. So he'll literally go adopt that lifestyle. It's really cool to watch, be immersed in that way. Witch in the Working, he's just a guy who's just showing what it's like to be a witch. He's very in-depth about it. He has like a lot of guests on his channel. Really great. Diat Darling, she's a woman who basically talks about Thelema. So, you know, if you're looking for basically a woman Thelemite, check out her channel. Blazing Star O.T.O. They're a Thelema channel. I just love to listen to their stuff. Very good. Let's see. Enoch Putracelli. He does, you know, a lot of goetic magic. And then Satan and Sons. So they have a lot of the sigil, basically enchants and videos, but they do a lot of things like profile demons, different spirits. So they have other, you know, sometimes it'll be a woman, sometimes it's a guy or a couple of them, but they're all really great, and it's a really well done channel. I like that. And they do services like, you know, they can draft you up a contract with a fucking demon and, you know, personalize it for you. And hey, if that's something you like, then Damien Echols, I really love his channel. He is, because I'm getting to the end of my list here, he is one of the West Memphis Free, so he was basically wrongly convicted in the 90s of being a murderer with 2 other teenage boys, but Damien Echols, even at the time, was into the occult, and that was a big part of probably why he got convicted. They were asking him about it at his trial, and he said that he was Wiccan. And as you can imagine, in the South in the 1990s, that really didn't probably go over so well, like, you know, at the tail end of the Satanic Panic, really. So now that he's been released from jail, he just talks about how he studied the occult, and you know, the concept saved his life. He really is a master. You can tell that he spent all those years in jail just practicing magic, learning, reading. Somebody very well read like that it's just beyond belief. He did some kind of show for Netflix. I've seen a couple episodes of it. You know, I'll have to, maybe we'll go back and watch some more of it, but you know, I just think that's really interesting that he didn't give up his beliefs, you know, no matter that this happened to him, and he let that strengthen him, and that's just incredible. He really brings the occult to such a grounded level. Go Virtual Lucifera, she's not active on YouTube. I think she might be on her personal channel. This is a European woman who covers the Goetia, but she's got that very atmospheric, you know, creepy room. She's doing sigils, necromancy, explaining it to you, holding the book out, you know, like you're on a mystical witch journey. And it's really great because it's you know, different spells she concocts and incorporates the Goetia into that. I like that. I think that's going to go ahead and, you know, conclude my list for now. I probably skipped over some people as well. I don't consistently watch YouTube, like, all, you know, occult channels all the time, even though I probably follow, like, I probably do follow like 70 people or something like that. Because if I find your channel and I think it's, you know, you put effort into it and you're just practicing the occult, I probably will like it. You know, of course, whatever, but I'm just always browsing for things like that, so I'll provide some links. I'm sure I'll miss a few, but I'm just going to try to get like maybe 20 links to channels up of people I mentioned, and then if any of that kind of sounds cool to you, you can check it out. Maybe this is like my most boring video every year, and that's totally fine, but hey, and if I mentioned you, I really enjoy your content, so thank you very much.